Hello and welcome to the first practice of the Get Connected Movement Challenge. The purpose of our challenge that's going on for the next 7 days is to get you connected back to your body through some natural movements, get you moving in some ways that are outside of the realm of exercise and more in the space of moving as your body was intended to move. So every one of these practices is going to start with a short check-in, and that's exactly what we're jumping into here. So I'm just starting in a seated position and adding some reaches here, thinking about creating strength and stability even though I'm sitting on the ground, making sure that my neck is loose, my shoulders are loose, that my core is strong and warm and is going to be there to engage and support me through all the movements that we explore today. Use this check-in time as an opportunity to see what's going on in your body before we get into 3 rounds of the day's movement sequence. Next, we're going to get into our movement sequence. I'm going to walk you through the first of 3 rounds. We're beginning with supine rocking. So you're going to tuck yourself into a tight ball, round your spine, and use the strength of your core to hold that shape and create a smooth rocking action back and forth. Really try to feel this movement being driven by the strength in your core and maybe even starting to create some rotational movements by swiveling your hips. This is going to be a very basic transitional movement, so you might want to start playing around with different arrangements of your legs as you exit the rock. Here you can see me playing around with a figure 4 seated exit, and we're going to use this in our next movement. Next up, we've got a figure 4 sit, transition into a crouch position. So you're just using that figure 4 leg position seated on the ground and transitioning onto your feet and lower leg, this half kneeling or crouch position. I extend my leg and pull forward from my heel. And if you need some extra assistance, you can always use your hands on the ground to help you through the transition. Next, we're transitioning into the side bent sit position. The movement, hip switches. You're going to become very familiar with this over the course of the challenge. I want you to start slow and really create some stability and control over this transition. Begins by sweeping the back leg forward, switching your figure 4 legs, and then wrapping the straight leg back. When I'm in the side bent sit position, I'll take a fold forward. It gives me a nice stretch. And you can also use your hands in contact with the ground to give you a little bit more balance, a little bit more fluidity through the movement. And the last movement in today's sequence is going to be a bent sit. And we're just going to do this little side step or spinning action. So hopefully you're on a surface that has a little bit of slide and gives you that ability to spin around. This type of rotation is going to give you so many different options when it comes to creating more flow and creativity in your movements. That's going to bring us back to the beginning for the start of round 2. You've got 2 more rounds to explore these movements. Now, don't forget, the whole point of this is to get connected through your movements. So go ahead, experiment, try different things. Each round can look a little bit different. And that's going to finish our first day of practice. Now, every day is going to get a little bit more challenging, a little bit more complex. So, great jump off point today, good foundation, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 2.